have a title for this one. I did not make time for a graphic. I apologize, but whatever. We all know that we're here on Monday nights at 8, right? And so, like I said, I don't have a title, but I have a couple notes. A lot of like, I don't know, just kind of like thoughts that have been coming to me. I know that you're probably just sick and tired of me talking about Kristen Boss, but I feel like I'm just obsessed. I'm just obsessed right now with her, the information that she puts out. And I'm just like, oh, and it just makes me think, and I'm like, why 4 years in, am I just learning to think this way? But it just makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, the things that she says. And so I actually have more questions than I do notes tonight. And so I would love if you guys want to hop in the chat here with me and just kind of like talk it out in the chat a little bit. But the first thing I wrote down is, what's hard in your business? Like, what feels hard? And I feel like that's different for every season, like for different seasons that you're going through. Maybe enrolling customers feels hard. Maybe selling a sample feels hard. Maybe consistency feels hard. Maybe it's just like conversations feel hard. Maybe you feel like you're stumbling on your words or whatever. And whatever feels hard in your business, we can't avoid that. There's always going to be something that feels hard. There's always going to be something that feels, what's the word? Like, it doesn't feel like it flows, because it actually does take a little bit of work to learn new skills. And that's what we're here for. We're building a business where we're doing things that we've never really done before outside of our traditional roles, right? Like, network marketing is so different and it's beautiful, but we can kind of get caught in like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know, like people wouldn't know, like, who's going to listen to me, or I don't have anything valuable to say, or I just don't know my thing. I don't know my groove yet, or you know what I mean? Like, we have all of these ideas that come into our head that make certain things in our business feel hard. And it's our job as business owners, as leaders, to solve for the hard, to solve for, okay, why does selling samples feel hard to me right now? Is it because I'm bored? Because that's been something for me lately, is at least for the month of June, is it's like I felt like I was just talking the same things about my samples. And so I started changing it up. Like, I started doing reels with my voice over it. I started using the link more on my stories about samples. I started talking about them in different ways. And it's our responsibility that we need to understand at the end of the day, that if we're feeling like something is hard in our business, then that's your little clue. That's your light bulb, not to run from it. Because I feel like that's the easiest thing when things feel hard, is we run and we go do the dishes, or we go and we preoccupy ourselves with our kids or with whatever. And we say, oh, well, I'll just deal with it later. And we kind of push it under the rug. And that is something that I've been working through my entire life, is not dealing with my problems, right? And I even run to it with my 6-year-old now, where she gets in trouble for something and she wants to just run off in her room and cry. And I'm like, no, you're not running from your problems. You're going to tackle your problem so that we can be better next time, right? And it's like, you got to teach yourself that, right, in your business. And so whatever feels hard to you, I want you to just kind of like flip the light switch on it tonight and just say, write it down. Sampling feels hard. Enrolling, recruiting feels hard. Posting consistently feels hard. Why does it feel hard? Why does it feel hard? Is it because you're feeling very vanilla and you just haven't found like something that you're passionate about to talk about besides Thrive? Is it that you feel like nobody wants it? What are the thoughts that we have inside of our head, right? And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But we have to learn how to solve our own problems. And I know that we say, and I am not like immune to this either. I am guilty of this numerous times in my business, but a lot of the times we say, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all the things. I'm posting, I'm consistent. I share my products in my stories, but a lot of the times, like, we kind of leave it at that. Like, that's our excuse. Like, we're doing all the things. We're showing up to the Zooms. We're doing all the things. And that is what we're telling our brain. But our brain becomes upset with the results that we aren't seeing. And so if we are looking at our trackers or we're looking at the goals we set that we did not accomplish for the month of June yet, if you're looking at that and you're triggered by it because you haven't accomplished it yet, or you didn't do what you said you were going to do, then you have to understand that you're not doing everything. There's something that you're not doing across the board, right? And that's a really hard place to be at, where you feel and you think and you want to tell yourself, I'm literally doing everything, but there's something that's missing. That's when I know I haven't been growing my network and talking to my audience. Exactly, Harry. That's what I personally have been missing for the month of June that I've been working on. And I told myself, I said, my word for July is going to be connection. Because what I noticed is my engagement started going down. I started getting less samples out the door, right? And I was like, hold up, why is this dropping when my belief and my confidence hasn't gone anywhere? And I sure should have been consistent, right? But like, what's missing? And I can't just sit there in that season of not seeing the results that I was hoping for and saying I'm doing everything, right? And putting the blame on everybody else. It's just that they don't want it. It's just a hard time right now, or whatever. No, I put the blame on me and I say, how can I solve for this? How can I be creative? And how can I look at my business and open-heartedly say, am I really doing everything? Right? At the end of your day, if you actually have an IPA list that you're working off of, do you look at that? Do you hide from that? Do you actually check things off? Or do you avoid it because you're scared of looking at it and being disappointed that you didn't put forth the effort? Does that make sense? Like, there's so many days where I didn't even check off my IPA list because like in my mind, I did my post, I did my reel, I showed up on my stories, checked birthdays to see if there was anybody that I routinely talked to that I needed to say hi to, right? But the missing piece for me that I started plugging back into for June, and I have to understand, and this is something that you guys have to understand too, is when you find that one thing that you're like, oh, I haven't been doing that, right? Like, I haven't been being bold in my stories. I haven't been asking for the offer. I haven't been being like a mentor to somebody. I haven't stepped into that boldness as a leader or as somebody who is selling a product. Yes, selling a product on social media and loving what you have to offer, right? And having that bold confidence. You know what I mean? I had to look at my business and say, what am I missing, right? What am I missing, Amber? Because I felt like I was doing all things, but in reality, I wasn't talking to people, right? I wasn't talking to people. So I wrote down here, we're going to get down to connection here in a minute, but I wrote down, what results do you have? And are you happy with the results that you have? And like I said, if you're unhappy, if you're disappointed, if it puts you in a negative space, then that is your clue to say, I need to move different, right? We always say move different to get different. If you want different, you got to move different. And so it's our responsibility to bring that fresh energy to your business, meaning maybe you're sharing about trials differently. Maybe you're sharing about the business a little bit more bold than you're used to sharing about the business. Maybe you're sharing about yourself as a mentor. Okay, we're going to get into that too. But you have to think, how might I be creating those results and not just pushing the blame onto anybody else, or that, making all excuses for your business. I also put on here, do you have a monthly minimum? Have we lost track of our vision boards, or do we still look at our vision boards? Do we still write down goals? When's the last time that you guys wrote down goals? These are questions that you ask inside your head tonight. You don't have to put it in the chat, but ask yourself, did I write down my goals for June? If I didn't write down any goals for June, then I can't be upset that I didn't hit my goals in June, right? Does that make sense, you guys? Like, I can't be mad. I can't be mad at the work that I did not do, right? And move forward in positive energy for July. So as we're wrapping up this month, I want you to really get a grip on what's going on in your business. Stop making excuses for it and understand that you have control over the outcome. You have control over customers that you're signing, or recruits that you're bringing in, or samples that you're selling. You have control over it first, based on the energy that you're bringing to your social media. And sometimes it needs to be not thrive energy. Honestly, you guys, sometimes it needs to be something different. Sometimes it can be like just your passion for network marketing industry as a whole. Sometimes it could be your faith. Sometimes it could be something that you're personally struggling in. Sometimes it could just be you sharing that you're going through a hard season, but guess what? You're still showing up and you're learning perseverance and you're learning how to work through hard. And this business and this community is showing you so much more that you didn't even know was here, right? It's not just about the paycheck. It's not just about the income. You have learned so much here. In the amount of time that you've been here, you've grown so much. You're a completely different person. You're more confident. You're more bold when you choose to be. Okay. Do you have a monthly minimum to keep your business healthy? And what that means is, are you running around in scarcity every month trying to get your 2 auto ship customers? Is that your baseline? Or have you ever pushed yourself a little bit further and said, no, my healthy minimum is 4 new customers a month, right? Have you ever pushed yourself and gotten to a point where that was your healthy minimum so that you never got back? Because I know that feeling when you feel like it's the last day of the month and you have 1 auto ship customer on your account and you're looking for 1 more and you're trying to attract 1 more on the last day of the month. I know what that feels like when you don't have the money in your bank account for products next month, but you need to order products in order to continue to show up and share and run your business and sell trials and yada, 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 right? I know what that feels like, but it's our responsibility to say no more. This isn't happening anymore. I'm not going to go scarcity mindset, like push me into the next month because I chose to not be bold and not share about trials multiple times a week and not go live and not do this or not do that and avoid the hard things in my business. Y'all, I avoided bold follow-ups for the longest time. I would let people that would talk to me about the business, I would let them go. I would say, well, I followed up with them 2 times. They don't want it. Right? No, and if they're not reaching back out to me, then that's not the type of person that I want to work with, right? And to some degree, I'd probably say, I understand that. But it's our responsibility to continue to nurture that relationship with them, even if it's as a friend. Okay. And so do you have a monthly minimum or is that something that you need to set forward going into July? This is my new monthly minimum for July where I'm going to keep my business healthy so that I don't feel like I have to go and rebuild every single month. And that might be, like I said, it might be trials, it might be customers, it might be recruits, it might be your team that you're building, right? What does it look like for you? And what might be missing? Number 1 on here, I'm not going to keep you too long. Number 1 I put is connection, is what I realized I was missing in my business. I was posting, I was doing reels, I was showing up on social media, I was showing my face almost every single day. I was sharing my product, I was talking about trials, I was doing all of the things, right? But I wasn't having conversations in the way that I should be having conversations. I was engaging, but I wasn't sparking up the conversation with them. I wasn't opening it up like I used to. I used to ask more questions. And so I had to go back to that. I had to go back to, okay, how can I get out of my shell a little bit? Because like the introvert in me, like doesn't really want to talk to people online sometimes. And sometimes, especially if it's a hard day, like I just get in my feels a little bit. And it's like, I don't want to say hi to a new follower, right? But like, what are we doing, right? And so I created like a new I appreciate you, like thank you for being here, I hope you're inspired by my content and I can provide some value to you, or something like a generic like thank you for following, right? If you ever need anything, I'm here. Like not anything product, not anything business, just like genuine thank you, I appreciate you, catch my stories, I'm in there every day, right? Like a message that you can send people when they start following you on Instagram or they add you on Facebook, where you can say, hey girl, like, I appreciate you, right? And just leave it at that. And maybe it sparks conversation. Maybe when you're engaging with people, you realize, hey, this isn't really my cup of tea and I'm going to unfollow this person because they're making me feel some sort of way. Or I can actually go a little further and ask more questions, right? Study their content a little bit sometimes with people, especially if they've already got a huge following and They have a certain niche that you're kind of looking at, right? Creating for yourself. Like, what is it that their audience is loving? What is it that they are engaging with? What is it that they say they want more of? And that's hard. That's a hard part of your business to try to figure that out. But maybe that's what you're missing. Maybe you're missing connection a little bit. Maybe you're not talking to people, right? Maybe you're missing the connection in your posting. Maybe you're vanilla a little bit, higher percentage of the time than we should be. Maybe you're not sharing hard moments. Maybe you're not sharing, your vision. Maybe you're not sharing your why anymore. Maybe you've got new followers, new people, new eyeballs on your feed, and they don't know why you thrive. They don't know why you said yes, right? And so it's our job to just kind of like spark that back up. So connection, I wrote down here connect four because I'm a nerd. Anyways, but connect four, I put audience. So maybe you could connect with your audience a little bit more, some ideas, asking questions in your stories, not just Thrive questions, not just network marketing questions, but just like, I don't know, random questions. Like, do you like this one or do you like that one? Or, just getting them used to clicking those buttons, those poll buttons on your stories, that is building connection. And then go back to them. Don't forget about them. I got so bad at that for the longest time, is I would just forget it, right? Because it was like I went on my stories and I checked it off and it was done. But go back to them, reply to them, reply to their answer to your question and spark up conversation there. I put saying hi to new followers. I wrote that down. I already gave you an idea for that. Customers, what value, we talked about this last week, I think a little bit, but what value can we start providing more in our customer page so that you then can go on your stories and you can talk about your product, your passion, why you use the products. And then you can say, my customers have access to a customer page. We go over healthy meal ideas. We go over recipes. We go over workouts. We go over mindset tips. Like, is there any moment in your calendar where maybe you could pop onto the customer page and you can say, hey, here's my favorite shake recipe. Or, I've been struggling mindset wise with, you have a question, Kristen? Just unmute yourself. Anybody can unmute yourself anytime.
With the customer page, do you have to set us as a whatever to be able to go live in there?
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay,
if you want to be
I
admin, I'll make you admin tonight.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't figure it out and I was gonna share something and then I just spaced it and
yes,
the day went on.
Thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that completely. So I will write that down. Admin for customer page. Do you want to be an admin in Relentless? Okay. We're going to get into that here at the end. Okay.
One thing at a time.
Okay. It's a great start. Let's see. So adding value to the customer page so that you feel like personally, right, you have more to offer your customers when they come in. So then it's another conversation that you're having with them before they join even. And you're like, hey, like you've got a whole support group. You don't have to do this alone. Maybe even if you're talking about E60, you can say, we're here. We've got girls in the group already who are already doing the challenge. We're here to support you. That sort of thing. And then when I sign up a customer, I ask them, I say, hey, I've got a free group over on Facebook where we go over, and I say all that again. I say, we go over healthy meals. We've got workout ideas. And it's just a great free resource for you to have. If you want to be part of the community, I'd be happy to add you. And it's just as simple as that. And they're just like, yeah, girl, add me. And then we throw them in. But that is something that we're going to have to build together one by one, just like we're building Relentless. Right? What do we got? 10 people in there right now. My 90-day goal in my mind, I would love to have 50 people in there.
Okay. And I just want to say real quick, I'm about to have a set schedule.
Okay.
So I actually plan on doing a live in the group every Saturday because I'm going to be completely off for Saturday. I'll have Saturday all day completely free. Okay. So I will go live in there. Either about a product that I'm trying or about a meal that I just prepped or something like that, because I'm like huge on meal prepping. Mm-hmm. So that might help with somebody who's doing the E60 challenge.
Absolutely.
So once my schedule becomes, because it's literally going to be Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I'm going to be home in the evenings. I'm going to be off on the weekends. I know, right? I can breathe. But that's also leaves it open for you guys. If you want to do a dual live, or anything like that in the evening during the week, or even on the weekends, like a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon or something like that, I'll be available for you guys on your page to do a live for anything, or if you want to do a live on the team page or customer page or anything like that too. So like, I'm just, my schedule is about to be a set schedule, so I'll be available for a lot more stuff for you guys.
I love it. Y'all, we can't stop Karen's fire. You're just gonna have to let her burn, okay? She loves it. She's all I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that, because that's gonna add to that customer page for sure. So we talked about customers. The third way, so we're working on our Connect 4, okay? Third way is connecting with your team, okay? And I want to talk about this a little bit, because what this could mean is this is your potentials, right? It starts with your potentials. It starts with checking back in with them, not always when there's a sale going on, okay? And it's not just, let me back up. It's not always when a sale's going on. Sometimes you're checking in as just as a friend. Sometimes you're looking if they've gone quiet for a while and they've ghosted you. You in your brain, you're like, they've ghosted me. They don't want this. Like, I'm just not doing this right. I'm not good at this recruiting thing. I'm never gonna have a team, right? Like, you go into this negative headspace, and that's not the case. Sometimes they're just really having a hard time, right? I've got potentials that I've been touching base with consistently every single month with very heartfelt messages related to what they told me they wanted this business for. And I go back to that and I'm like, I know you're having a hard time with you and your babies, and I know that I can help you, right? And I speak life into their messages, right? And I don't care. I'm not tied to the result. I'm not tied to the fact that they've messaged me back or not. When it's time, when it's their moment, they'll come. But that is my check-in in making sure I'm connecting with my team. First of all, is your potentials, right? Second of all, is your people that you currently have on your team right now, right? And it's not always just the chat that we have, right? Touch base with people individually. Touch base with people and see how they're doing. Say what you're proud of them for, right? Just make sure that, and I'm not perfect at it, but I do my best because I like the way that feels, right? I like it when somebody comes to me and they're like, I really like that you did this or you did that, right? Like when we get these like when the patients write back on like, oh, Amber was my nurse, she was great. Like that feels really, really good, right? It makes you feel seen. It makes you feel heard. It makes you feel like you're doing a good job and you're doing something right, right? And so always keep that in the back of your mind for anybody that's on your team. Touch back to the ones who dropped off. Okay, we're learning lessons about that. I'm not going to call anybody out, but we're learning lessons about that now. Is that just because somebody drops off from your business does not mean that they don't want it anymore. They're still probably watching your stories. They're still probably looking at your content. They're not liking or commenting because they're probably sitting in a fear moment. They're probably sitting in, well, I just don't know how to get back in. I don't know how to restart. I don't know, where would I even start? People aren't going to trust me, right? I don't know how to do it, right? But if you're constantly being a friend and you're just making sure that they know the door's always open, and that you always have a hand out, and that you personally are growing as a leader to be able to help them should they decide to come back in, they're going to come back to you. Okay. Because they're going to understand, they're going to be watching you and they're going to be like, I miss that community, right? I miss that leadership. I miss being poured into, right? Yeah. Karen knows what I'm talking about. So make sure that you touch back with your team, even the people who fall off. Even the people who fall off. And it's not up to you is to when they come back. Cause I've got people who are like, I want to get back in. And I'm like, I'm here. Like I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, you let me know. Right. And I still touch base with them. I look at their stories. I go and I make sure that they know that I'm still here and that I haven't moved on. Like I haven't shut the door for them. And then the last one I put here is you. And so this is sometimes the hardest part is a deep dive into your why you clicked that promoter button. Why is it important that you're still here X amount of time from the time you joined to now, however much time it's been, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Why is this still important to you? And does your audience know that? Do they know what you're fighting for? Do they know what you are what you don't want any more of? Do they know that you're paying off debt? Do they know, or that you're wanting to pay off debt? Do they know that you want to build, or you want a different home for your babies one day? Do they know your vision? The second one is I wrote down the mindset of recruiting. I wrote down, because this is, I feel like something that's very common, especially right now with times being so hard, you guys, like gas and groceries are terrible. And it's not just terrible for you, it's terrible for so many people. But it's easy for our brains to go, people can't even fill up their gas tank. They're not going to spend $160 on vitamins, right? Like, don't you dare tell yourself that. Right? Because people will pay for better mood. People will pay to have help with losing weight. People will pay to have energy to run around with their kiddos. They will pay for what you're selling. Okay. So are you selling a vitamin, or are you selling more patience with their kids? Are you selling the fact that they could bring in more money every single Tuesday to help with the pain that they're going through right now? Right. And so you have to kind of check yourself every now and then when you get these negative thoughts and say, okay, which one am I going to choose? Which one am I going to accept? Am I going to accept the thought that nobody can invest in a business right now, that nobody has time for it, that nobody has the money to buy products and we're just all doomed, doom and gloom? Or am I going to choose the thought that I have something that can help somebody and I can teach people how to earn their products for free? Do you believe that? Do you guys believe that you can teach somebody to earn their products for free and just pay shipping? The first thing that you need to do if you're sitting with yourself and you're like, I don't know, is you need to teach yourself that it's possible. You need to go earn free product credit on your account. And then if you have a spouse account or a sister or whatever, go earn free product credit on that account too. Teach yourself that it can be done. You will build that belief. You will build that confidence. And then you'll be able to stand tall on your stories. You'll be able to talk to them that way, if that makes sense. You'll be able to say, I can teach you how to earn your products for free. It's the same thing with the business. Okay. The last thing that I put on here is a little bit heavy, but I put on here, do you really believe that you're not worth investing in? And I don't mean like you doing self-development or you pouring into yourself or you being consistent so that you can trust yourself, all these things that we've talked about before. What I mean is, do you really feel like there's absolutely no reason why anybody would join you in this business to guide them, to lead them, to be able to create more money right now? And that's hard. That's hard to sit with sometimes, right? Because a lot of the times we think, well, I don't have a team yet, right? I don't have a team yet. I don't have a downline. I'm not leading Zooms. Like, I'm not confident in the leadership arena. And so I don't know why anybody would join me, right? Right? That's the easy route. Remember, you guys, we're doing a lot of like mindset, emotional work here because we can screw ourselves up, like for real, okay? If we're constantly thinking like, I'm not good enough. Do you know how many years of my life like I spent? I know we've talked about all that before, like thinking that I wasn't good enough, right? Thinking I was never good enough. Like, why can't I keep a dad, right? I was never good enough. I carried that around for so long. I carried it into this business. I brought it right with me. I said, to my backpack, I've carried this around for my whole life. Why would I put it down now, right? And then I look at my results 4 years in and I'm like, well, of course I'm sitting here. Of course I didn't sign a promoter for the first 12 months because I'm carrying around the belief and the thought that I didn't know what I was doing and I wasn't capable of building a team and I was insecure and I did not have the belief that I could do it. And so I sat there, okay? And so why wouldn't somebody invest in you in however much time you've been here? I don't care if you're new, if you've been here a year, 2 years, however long, 6 months, 2 months, however long you've been here, why wouldn't they join you? We talked about it a little bit. You've grown so much. You're more confident, right? You know how to teach somebody to earn their products for free, right? You know that we have systems in place in Lionhearted and now in Relentless. And you know that you're not going anywhere. right? You know that you're consistent. You know that this still matters to you. And if it still matters to you, of course, you're going to be there every single day, hand in hand. And you have to know at the end of the day, if somebody comes and joins you tomorrow, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And you're going to know how to lead them because you've got the whole team here. We run as a pack together. Okay. What is it like the Mighty Ducks? Ducks fly together. Okay. That was so cheesy, but we do. We help each other. So you don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to have it all figured out. Okay. Ducks fly together. It was so cheesy. A couple of things. So I want you to really sit with that thought tonight. Like, why wouldn't somebody invest with me? Would they not invest with me because I don't talk about it? Would they not invest with me because I'm not being bold enough and I need to work on that? You work on it like one day at a time, one face-to-face story at a time, one reel about the business at a time, one bold post about why you're still here and why this matters at a time. Okay. A couple things. Just kind of like housekeeping stuff. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 9 p.m. me and Harriet are doing the op event. We're going to create a graphic, but we're doing the op event for the team tomorrow night at 9. We're going to do a duel. And we're going to be unpacking a lot of the, like, life is really fucking hard right now. Right. And so if you're sitting in like a struggle of not being able to buy your groceries or being able to fill up your gas tank, like, maybe it's a smart decision to invest one time to be able to bring in that extra income every single Tuesday. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. We're going to talk about how it's a smart decision. The next thing I wrote down, admin customer page. I'm going to remember that. Next thing I want to say is next week, Monday is the 4th of July. And I want you guys to just relax with your family. So I'm not going to do a Zoom next week, Monday at 8 p.m. I'll do a live in the team page sometime, probably Sunday instead. But I want you to don't pay attention to any Zooms next week, Monday. That sounds weird to say, but I want you to go spend time with your family, watch fireworks, whatever you want to do. But just take a day. Okay. And then I'm going to announce something tomorrow, a little bit of a challenge for you guys, if you guys are up for it. I thought maybe in July we'll turn up the heat a little bit. Okay. And so I'm going to put up a challenge for us where we do certain things and we'll accrue some points. And then I want to be able to give you guys $75 in credits. So the person that accrues the most points, I want to give you $75 in credits. But I want to let it run for the whole month of July. Okay. Because it's going to have some things on that challenge that are not your typical, like, sold a sample 1 point kind of thing. It's going to have you getting outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Okay. And we're going to, Chris is sweating. We're going to work into this together, because the only way to move forward in your business is to take that step forward and move beyond what you're currently used to doing. Okay. Was this helpful, you guys? I feel like Kristen's trying to unmute.
Yeah, I just had a customer. I completely missed what you just said about a challenge or something.
Oops. Yeah. I'm gonna put a graphic in the team page tomorrow for a challenge that I think is gonna be fun for us, just to kind of get outside of our shell a little bit for July and step into next level things. Okay. And so I'm excited for it. I mean, it is what it is. What you guys have full reign of like what you want to do, but it's going to be one of those like, okay, I did this or I did that for my business, and however many points attached to it. So I gotta figure all that out. But for the whole month of July, and then I'm going to be giving you guys, I'm going to be giving the winner 75 in credits for July. Okay. So I love you guys. All right. Not going to see you next week because we're going to be spending time with our families, right? I probably won't stay up, but whatever. I want you to be able to enjoy a holiday. I mean, that's just crazy, but I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.